Think nothing grows in the shade? Time to debunk this myth. You might be surprised to learn that many plants not only survive but thrive in low-light conditions. Yes, that's right. The world of gardening is far more versatile than you might have imagined. From lush ferns to vibrant hostas, there's a plethora of shade-loving plants waiting to add a touch of magic to your garden. Ready to explore the world of shade-loving plants? Let's dive in. Welcome to the realm of shade-tolerant plants where the sun is optional. Our journey begins with a group of plants that are often overlooked, yet they are the ones that bring life to the darker corners of our gardens. These are the shade-tolerant plants, and their ability to thrive where others can't is truly remarkable. Consider hostas, for example. These plants are the epitome of shade tolerance, boasting a wide variety of colors and sizes. From the petite blue mouse ears, with its compact form and charming blue-green leaves, to the grand sum and substance, with its massive chartreuse foliage, hostas add a touch of elegance to the garden, even in the absence of sunlight. Next, let's talk about ferns. These ancient plants have been around for hundreds of millions of years, and their delicate fronds give a sense of softness and movement to the garden. Ferns like the Japanese painted fern or the Christmas fern are perfect for adding texture and color to your shade garden. They're also low maintenance, making them a favorite among gardeners. Now, let's move on to astilbe. Astilbe is a shade-tolerant perennial that offers feathery plumes of color in the summer. Their flowers, which come in shades of pink, red, white, and purple, create a stunning contrast against their dark, glossy foliage. Astilbe not only thrives in the shade but also loves moist soil, making it perfect for those damp, shady spots in your garden. These are just a few examples of the diverse world of shade-tolerant plants. Each one has its unique characteristics, preferences, and benefits. Some offer lush foliage, others vibrant flowers, and yet others, a combination of both. They fill our gardens with color and life, even in the darkest corners. These plants prove that a lack of sunlight doesn't mean a lack of beauty. They remind us that in the world of gardening, as in life, it's not about what we lack, but what we make of what we have. So let's celebrate these unsung heroes of the garden and give them the recognition they deserve. After all, they show us that even in the shade, beauty thrives. How to care for your shade-loving green friends. Here are some tips. Firstly, let's delve into the world of soil preparation. The soil is the foundation of your garden, and it's especially crucial for shade-tolerant plants that often prefer rich, well-drained humus. A soil test is an excellent place to start, enabling you to understand your soil's current state and what it might need. If you find your soil is heavy clay or sandy, consider amending it with organic compost to improve its texture and nutrient content. Remember, a healthy start leads to a thriving garden. Next, we move on to moisture management. Shade-tolerant plants typically appreciate a moist but not wet environment. This balance can be a bit tricky to achieve, especially in shaded areas that can stay damp for extended periods. To avoid overwatering, check the soil's moisture level by sticking your finger an inch into the soil. If it feels dry, it's time to water. If it's wet, give it more time. Also, a layer of organic mulch can help retain moisture, regulate soil temperature, and reduce weed growth. Now, let's talk about spacing. Proper spacing is crucial for shade-tolerant plants to thrive. While it might be tempting to pack your plants in tightly for an instant lush look, overcrowding can lead to poor air circulation, which in turn can invite disease and pest problems. As a rule of thumb, leave enough space between plants for them to grow to their mature size. This might make your garden look a bit sparse in the beginning, but patience will reward you with a healthier, more sustainable garden in the long run. Before we wrap up, remember that even shade-tolerant plants need some light. So be mindful of the light conditions in your garden. Some plants do well in deep shade, while others prefer light or dappled shade. Understanding your garden's light conditions and selecting the right plants accordingly is key to successful shade gardening. With the right care, your shade garden will flourish. Creating a beautiful shade garden is an art. Let's explore. When it comes to designing a captivating shade garden, think of it as curating an art exhibit. Each plant plays its part, and the way they interact can create a masterpiece. The key elements to consider are color coordination, texture variation, and strategic layering of plants. Start with color coordination. It's a common misconception that shade gardens are strictly green. But the truth is, shade-loving plants come in a myriad of colors, from the deep purples of coral bells to the bright yellows of dead nettles. Experiment with these colors to create a visually appealing palette. Next, consider texture. Different plants offer distinct textures that can add depth and interest to your garden. Ferns, with their feathery fronds, provide a soft texture. On the other hand, hostas, with their bold, broad leaves, offer a more robust texture. Mixing these textures can lead to a visually dynamic garden. Finally, let's talk about layering. A well-layered garden mimics nature's own design, with taller plants in the back, mid-sized ones in the middle, and shorter ones in the front. This arrangement creates a sense of depth and allows each plant to shine without overshadowing others. For example, you might place a tall Japanese maple in the back, a cluster of medium-sized hydrangeas in the middle, and a carpet of low-growing sweet woodruff in the front. Remember, the key to a successful shade garden is balance. Too much of one color, texture, or size can overpower the others. So take your time to plan and adjust until you achieve a harmonious blend. And don't forget, gardens are living, evolving entities. As your plants grow and change, so too should your garden. Don't be afraid to move plants around or introduce new ones to keep your garden fresh and exciting. A shade garden can be just as vibrant and diverse as a sun-filled one. With the right combination of shade-tolerant plants, a touch of creativity, and a dash of patience, you can create a shade garden that's not only beautiful, but also a testament to your unique gardening style. Shade gardening does more than just spruce up those dark corners of your yard. It's a practice that offers a plethora of benefits, not only to you as a gardener, but also to the environment. Let's delve a bit deeper into this. Firstly, shade gardening is an excellent way to reduce water usage. Plants that thrive in the shade typically require less water than their sun-loving counterparts. This is because the shade helps retain soil moisture, reducing the need for frequent watering. Over time, this can save a substantial amount of water, which is not only good for the environment but also for your wallet. Secondly, shade gardens provide a vital habitat for various forms of wildlife. Many insects, birds, and small mammals rely on the dense foliage and cool temperatures of shade gardens for shelter. These creatures play a critical role in maintaining our ecosystems, from pollinating plants to controlling pests. By creating a shade garden, you're essentially creating a sanctuary for these beneficial creatures. In addition to the environmental benefits, shade gardening can also contribute to your well-being. The lush greens and tranquil spaces they create can serve as a calming oasis right in your backyard. Imagine having a quiet, serene spot where you can unwind after a hectic day, surrounded by the soothing sounds of rustling leaves and chirping birds. What's more, shade gardens can increase the aesthetic appeal and value of your property. With the right selection of shade-tolerant plants, you can transform a previously unused, shady corner into a beautiful, eye-catching landscape feature. Lastly, let's not forget the joy and satisfaction that comes from gardening itself. Cultivating a shade garden, like any gardening project, can be a rewarding experience. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to connect with nature. So, as we can see, shade gardening offers a multitude of benefits. It's a sustainable and eco-friendly gardening practice that promotes biodiversity, conserves water, and creates beautiful, calming spaces. And it's something that anyone, regardless of their gardening experience, can try. Shade gardening benefits both you and the environment. So, why not give it a shot? You might just find your new favorite hobby. Now that you're armed with knowledge, why not give shade gardening a try? We've debunked the common myths about shade gardening and opened up a world of lush, vibrant possibilities for spaces that don't get much sunlight. Remember, there's a whole host of plants that thrive in the shade, each with unique care requirements and benefits. From the resilient hostas to the delicate ferns, to the brilliant impatiens, shade-tolerant plants can add a touch of enchantment to your garden. To ensure your shade garden thrives, keep in mind our tips on soil preparation, moisture management, and spacing. It's all about creating a nurturing environment for these special plants. The benefits are many, from the sheer beauty of a shade garden to the lower maintenance it requires. So let's transform those shaded corners of your garden into blooming sanctuaries. Take the leap and enter the world of shade gardening. It's a journey filled with discovery, creativity, and the joy of seeing your garden flourish in unexpected ways. Before we conclude, remember that every gardener's journey is unique. You'll learn, grow, and adapt as you explore the world of shade gardening. It's an adventure that will reward you in many ways, and we're here to guide you through it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gardening tips. Happy shade gardening!